And we are live. Well, hello, crafters.
Hello, everybody.
I'm Big D,
Lil D.
and we are the Game Craft Dragons. Today, I am still prepping for an RTT that I'll be participating in.
So Rendax is the one I'm thinking of. That makes it better to kill monsters.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Well, he is working on his army. I am working on deciding if I'm going to become a Custodes player or not. Which one has Rendax?
Anybody has Rendex.
Yeah, okay, but which one is specifically...
Has chosen.
Temper's Chosen, which isn't bad.
Well, that's okay.
But that's not the one I'm...
Yeah. I would also look at some lists and stuff to see how people are building their armies.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, we have an RTT coming up this weekend. Warpstorm RTT. Where you two can get together with a bunch of your nerd buddies and pretend you know something about this game we call Warhammer 40,000. Hello, Phoenix.
No, well, wait. Are you talking to him about him or me? Because if we talk about him, that's fair. Listen, I'm looking at Custodes because I have been stomped in the ground for the 8th time in a row with my Chaos Space Marines list on Tabletop Simulator, and I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to wait for them to have a book so I can actually compete because I'm done. So I'm looking at Custodes because they're really cool. I really like them.
And we have the figures for them.
Yeah. I really like them. And I want to use Golden Boys and kill everyone.
Besides, what's wrong with chasing a meta?
I understand that. But I'm still at 1 wounds with my Chaos Space Marines, and am just getting stomped by every list under the sun. I got wiped. Turn 1 against an Orcs list, and I went first. And I dove my boys in, I did good damage, and then they tabled me in the same round.
You know what the difference is, right?
What is it?
You're looking to still play. Man talks a lot of shit for a guy that doesn't roll many dice.
But also, I've always liked Custodes. Who is surprised I've always liked Custodes? I mean, I've talked about it before, how Custodes are so cool. How I want to run a mixed Custodes guard list, because I think that'd be super cool. Even if it's not entirely effective.
Not at all, because they changed how shields work.
Yeah.
Or how banners work. Those banners don't work that way anymore.
Actually.
Yeah, don't work that well anymore. They don't work that way at all anymore.
Well, yeah, they don't give the invuln saves, but
they don't do anything. The only thing they really work on is the Psychana.
Ahem.
That's not chasing meta. The person you are speaking of is not a matter of chasing meta. It's a matter of he doesn't have an army he likes. He just plays whatever is strong. You know, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with changing your army based on you have a couple different factions you play, and you change it to one that's not getting its ass beat every other time it plays.
I want to run my Space Marine stuff. I really do. Legitimately. Okay. Meta chasing would be every time a new army list that is the top army list, you change your army to that list. It's like,
and again, now I'm going to ask you this: what if you do that? Is there anything legitimately wrong with doing that?
I mean, it
I mean, legit.
it's okay. I don't like the idea of it because I like the idea of finding an army you enjoy and sticking with it.
Right. But if you enjoy changing armies based on what plays well, is there actually anything wrong with that?
Sure.
I don't think there is.
Because I want to play Imperial Guard. But
Exactly, Ben. Exactly, Ben. If you switching armies every 6 months and playing whatever the new hotness is what you enjoy, then you should do that. I mean, I look at games like Magic the Gathering where you don't keep a deck static for years at a time. Every time you play that deck, you are evaluating cards, and every time there's new cards in play, you're evaluating would they work better than what I currently have in. So I don't think there's anything wrong with meta chasing. Now, that being said, I don't want people to think of me as a meta chaser because that's not what I'm doing. I'm playing Tau because I've been wanting to play Tau for a long time, and I finally have an opportunity to play them that just happens to be the exact right time in the game. I don't want people to think, oh, he's just changing because of the hotness right now. No, I've wanted to play them for a long time. I just happen to get really freaking lucky that they're really good right now.
Because I came into the hobby wanting to play Guard. First of all, I still regret it, but also I did enjoy a little bit of what I tried to do. And I have over time learned that there are a lot of armies that I want to play, and I'm not sure which one I want to genuinely put full on into and full on drive myself towards building, because I thought it was my Chaos Space Marines, but right now it's not. Right now I don't even want to try and finish building them because I don't think I'm going to have fun dealing with what they are right now. That was not my problem. It wasn't about viability because I was still playing back in 8th. It was about the fact that I didn't enjoy building and painting them. I did not enjoy building them as an army. I didn't even play them in a game. I just didn't want to finish making them. Plus, there was a whole thing where I was moving out, and that was a whole thing.
It was a thing.
But this, I'm not sitting down and building an army from scratch. I'm not sitting down there assembling an army, painting it up. I am playing with the models Dad has because I want to play Custodes. But in the long run, I know what I want to play. I want to build my Grey Warden's army and play my Grey Warden's army, and I don't care because I think that'll be fun. I have a great, I have worked on lore for them. I've worked on, their designs and what I want from them and what I want them to look like. But right now, I'm not sure if I want to throw myself into it after I just dealt with trying to go into an army that I ended up not liking in the end. Or at least not liking right now. So right now, I'm going to play an army that's safe, that I can play, that I can figure out how the rule set works on the tabletop rather than just in Tabletop Simulator, because there's a genuine difference between the two. When you're playing on Tabletop Simulator, it's a little harder to get certain aspects right in the game than normally on an actual tabletop. And the games also take a bit longer, and there's just everything about that. And also probably feels better to have your hands on the figures and moving them around.
I agree with that.
But with all that said, that does not deny the fact that I really like playing on Tabletop Simulator. I'm just not enjoying the army I'm currently playing on it and want to come back and look at a different army.
And as long as we have the figures and have the books, might as well play when you think you like.
Because part of me wants to try Death Guard. part of me. I'm not super into Death Guard, but I think they're cool. But Custodes have always been something I enjoy, just visually. If nothing else, I think aesthetically, the Custodes have a on-point aesthetic. And that is also part of it, because I really like the aesthetic of the Custodes, and I want to let my golden boys crush people. It'll be fun. And have Trajan Valoris walk up to Abaddon and go, whack! Just kill his ass. And I've got a lot of fun ideas for what I want to do with this army. Like, I entirely understand that. I think when I find the army I'm going to enjoy painting, I'm going to be painting a lot more. But right now, I've still yet to find that army. I did have that army for a bit. But, oh no.
Oh no, what?
No, my interest in that kind of got shot down a while back. So,
In what?
my orcs. I'm still kind of about them. Like, yeah, I'll probably finish them eventually, but I don't know. That just wasn't a great.
Poo-poo baby.
What?
Poo-poo baby.
It was just kind of like took the wind out of my sails. Plus, I like 40k more. I really do. I like some aspects of Age of Sigmar more, but generally I like lore of 40k and messing around with 40k more than Age of Sigmar. But also, I really like Crusades. Crusade mode in 40k is very well put together, and I very much like it. I've been reading up each book that we get in about their Crusade rule sets, and I really like them.
Because at his heart, Ray really is a role player, not a wargamer.
That's true. And I think that might be part of my problem, is like, I think if I had more like narrative, light-hearted games I played, I'd be much happier. But when I'm playing with people in Tabletop Simulator, that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for, oh, I need to test out this build. I'm like, okay, I'm playing Chaos Space Marine, so I'm not great. And I got tabled in round 1. And the problem is that that aspect converts over to my desire to build the army and play it overall. Like, if before I'm even done building the army, I'm already getting stomped, it's like, yeah, you expect some losses. Like, with any army, when you start playing any army. But I was doing for a good while, I was like, I was inspired, I was doing well, I lost some games, but I won a good number of them just by, like, learning my army really well. And then it just went, and everything just continued like, oh, I shoot you off the table. I've shot you off the table. You're dead. Loss. Like, by dozens of points. It just stopped being, like, losing can be fun, but not when you're losing every time by a curb stomp.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, I don't know anybody else who would quit playing their primary army that they love after getting curb stomped. I don't know anybody who does that. Commodore.
And it just killed my desire to build and paint.
I totally get that. I mean, I'll be honest. One of the big reasons that I'm taking an extended break from my wolves is that it's just as good as I get with them. I think I kind of hit a ceiling with them. I mean, there are just armies that they cannot get past. If everybody's pretty much at the same skill, and in our group, the top set of people, they're pretty much all at that same skill level, then it starts becoming about the army. And as much as I love my wolves, just not getting anywhere with them.
See, here's the thing, Commodore. I like ninth, but I don't like the meta of ninth. I don't enjoy the meta of ninth. I don't think they have a great balance in ninth because it really has become, and like, yeah, I understand that like codex creep has always been a thing, but it really does feel like most of the time you get the new codex and you fire your way up to the top. Or you're one of the few armies who just got a good codex and stayed up there. But everyone else just kind of goes down the list. The farther and farther we go into it, the more that the armies that showed up earlier kind of fall behind. Death Guard are a pretty good example.
Death Guard doing just fine.
Okay. When you compare Death Guard to, let's say, Drakari.
Oh, yeah.
Or Mechanicus. Or even what we saw with that Tau list earlier today. That's the problem. If the meta is...
It's almost like Games Workshop is a company that's more concerned with selling models than having a balanced game right off the bat. Because they do nerf the shit out of the broken armies, typically, after they've sold a lot of their stuff. Anybody that goes all in thinking, this is going to be the best army ever, and I'm going to break the bank on it, and, then I'll win it all, then they're not the ones not paying attention.
Okay. Ben, we're not talking about just viability. We're following up on what Commodore said, which, like, the problem is that just playing what's fun is great in theory, but when I want
it's great when you're playing in casual narrative games with your friends. Absolutely.
Like, I'm going to be running a narrative campaign, and I already, like, we have an orc list, we have a guard list, we have a Necron list. The problem is that not everyone is playing fun, casual games. And that's not bad. Like, people play what they want to play. But just play what's fun doesn't work when the other people you want to play with, or that are options for you to play with, are playing what they think is fun. And it's fine that they think it's fun. But they're also playing these hyper, like, meta lists designed to, like, crush at a tournament. Like, my funsy thematic Chaos Space Marine list getting table turn 1 by someone's race car simulator orc list full of death and DACA beyond anything you can believe is not going to have fun when I'm just spending I set up my army, I take my turn 1, they take the turn 1, game's over. Wow. Okay. Fun. And that's the problem. And that's going to be a problem with a lot of games like this.
Well,
I'm not saying
and that's the whole thing. It's about going into the game knowing what you want. If you want to play a fluffy narrative game, you should be able to play a fluffy narrative game, and I'm not saying otherwise.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe one of the biggest aspects of this game is when you are getting ready to play a game that you're talking to the people that you're playing with so that you both know what you're expecting out of this match.
Yeah.
If you're both coming into this knowing that you're playing a tournament level list and that's your intent, then both play tournament list. If you're looking to play with somebody and they're like, hey, I got some fun units I want to use, I just want to play something fun. Okay, let me take my tournament list, set it over here, and let me go grab some fun units and we can play a game that way. And that is a completely viable method of playing 40K. I say that because I have, and you've seen it, I have this crazy, stupid guard list that if you took it near a tournament, you'd be laughed out the door. But playing it in a fun, casual game, we had a good time, didn't we, playing that list? Because it's meant to be all back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's a fun list to play. I mean, a tournament list is going to destroy off the table, but because we went into it going, hey, we're playing for funsies, we're playing for just to. So and it's why I've stopped using the word viable. I don't actually use. I do everything I can. I may accidentally slip it in there, but I try not to use the word viable when I'm talking about a list anymore. And I got to thank Antonio for that because every unit is viable
in the right setting.
In the setting you're trying to play it in. It's a matter of, are you playing it? What setting are you playing at? Mr. Drake.
And that's the problem, is that I have been signing up to play with people for dumb fun games so I can play my dumb fun Chaos Space Marine army that does well, but it doesn't do well enough for some of these lists. And because that community is great, but it only goes so far, it really sucks to go, oh, by the way, yeah, I know you're going for dumb fun, but here's my Necron list with 2 Catans in it or something like that. That's just like, oh, okay, it's fun. It's why I'm probably going to eventually finish that Chaos Army. But right now, as it stands, it's not.
If you're not having fun, you shouldn't be playing it.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun playing the game, then you shouldn't be playing it, especially in that way. If you can find another way to play the game that you enjoy playing the game, then play the game in that method.
Yeah. Because if I were willing to, if I had the inspiration to sit down and build the list and build the army and paint it all, then I'd probably be better. It would probably be great because I could play with, you guys in the community. But I don't have the inspiration to do it.
So, we're going to move on from that a little bit. That's my son tries to kill me.
Why?
I heard that. So, as I said before, I am working on some Tau. And so I have been painting these guys up. My white with a little bit of green, a little bit of purple. So I want to give out a couple shout outs to a couple of products. Since we are also a crafting channel, I want to give a shout out to a couple of products for things that people use. Let's first start off with AK Interactive Terrain Basing Materials. This, and keep in mind, I am not being sponsored by anybody. This all comes out of my own pocket. This stuff is amazing. Now, this is $15 USD. This is effectively, if you look at the picture there, that is exactly what you get when it is dry. It looks like that. So it's very similar to, what's that Badland stuff called? A Gremlin Badland. So it looks like a lot like a Gremlin Badland or a Gremlin Cracked Earth or whatnot when it's done and drying. One of those containers of terrain goop is like $6 or $7. This is 15, and it's like 15 of those 10 to 15 of those containers put together. So good stuff. Secondly, everybody knows me knows that I love Citadels / Games Workshop. I love their tufts. I have found another company that does really great, really nice tufts. I love these tufts. Um, they are a company called Gamers Grass. They're a company in Portugal. So you got to order from them online and they'll ship it to you. But they have some of the coolest stuff. So, like, I bought their meadow kit, which has like 4 different kinds of grass in it. And I brought the green dried stuff, which is the stuff you're seeing there. I bought just a whole pack of that because I'm wanting to do this whole thing. Um, very, very high quality grass. It's self-sticking. It's nice, random, chaotic pieces. Some small, some big. Um, and they stick right on. There's lots of variation in color, lots of variation in texture. So they're very realistic. I love this stuff. This is their meadow kit, so it's 4 different colors. Very cool set. But then I also got a few other ones. They have their alien grass set. So I have one that's a reddish to a pink. It doesn't show up very well through this thing. It's actually kind of a very bright pink if you run a finger across it when it's in place. So it's got like this almost pink, neat glow to it. Then there's this turquoise with a really bright bluish green underneath. It's very aquatic looking. And then this alien neon I got for Shannon specifically. It is a purple to a neon pink, but these are just gorgeous, gorgeous tufts. Very cheap, worth buying like 4 or 5 at a time because they give you a price deal, and if you get over like $60 or $70, I forget what it is, they throw in the shipping. Great, great product. Absolutely amazing product. I love it to death. I've been basing my entire Tau army with the AK Interactive and then Gamergrass Tufts on it. Just really, really good stuff. Enjoying it immensely. So big shout out to that. What was one other product I wanted to shout out? I just saw it. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? That's that. I don't remember. I'll probably come across it while I'm working on. Oh no, right here. Here we go. I'm working in Tau, which are very anime and mecha like, and there's a lot of lines. And in between doing paints and layers of coats and some of my wash thing, not all the lines got filled in really well. So I got a thing of this Tamiya panel line accent color. You take a little bit of this, you just put a touch of it on the brush, and you just touch it on the line, and the fluid goes and just clings inside the line and sticks inside and fills up these lines with nice dark. I've got both a black and a brown. You can also use it to put it on the edge of things, and it just kind of clings to the corner edges if you're doing it in the middle. Really, really good stuff. Gosh, it's making my life a lot easier. I had it and I've been thinking about it. I hadn't used it, and then I noticed some of my lines were kind of messy, so I'm like, and I painted over. I'm like, oh, I can't see the line now. And I just brought this up and touched it, and boom, beautiful. So Tamiya panel line accent color. It's really, really good stuff. I really, really enjoy it. So there you go. 3 products. Also, if you haven't used it before, Vallejo's Armor Wash, really good stuff. It makes a good wash for getting into panel lines and whatnot without really dirtying up or really worrying. It doesn't cling to flat surfaces much at all, but it really gets in the lines, gets them nice and dark. So this is pretty good stuff too. If I was not so pressed for time trying to get this army painted for tournament, I was actually going to be using some more AK Interactive stuff. I got some streaking grime, and I got some fuel spill oil and some diesel stain stuff that you put it on there, and then you use a Q-tip with some with some spirits, and you wipe part of it off, some oil-based stuff. Really, really good stuff. So AK Interactive. I actually got two different flavors of this stuff. I got this stuff that looks like dirt, and then and it's their light earth. I've got another stuff that's rough earth, but I've got it in a neutral tone. So it's just like white. So I can put it on a base, and then I can hit it with a contrast paint and make it look however I want, whatever kind of rough earth I want it to be. If I want to make it more ruddy and muddy, I hit it with a darker brown. If I want it to be more deserty, I can hit it with something more of a sand color. I could probably even hit it with what do you call apothecary white, and then maybe put some a little bit of glitter lacquer in there and make it look like a glistening snow field. So there's a lot of different uses for the neutral stuff. I want to try a couple other different things because I really like this. And because it's so economical, I don't mind like using like a big glob of this, say, on a piece of terrain I want to build, because there's a lot in here. I've based a ton of stuff with this, and I barely even touched this canister. So really enjoying the AK Interactive stuff. Can you see these commanders again? Sure. We have, I did some touch-ups on them. So I did some heat effects for the one that's got a fusion blaster. So this is Commander Fireheart. And he's got the flamer and the fusion blaster and the missile rack up top, and then a shield generator on the side. And I still have a couple little gloss effects. He's done, except for some gloss effects I want to do. He's already got his matte seal in him, so I want to put the gloss effects on him now so they'll be nice and glistening and shiny. And then I have Commander Starfall. And this is my twin gun commander, who's got, again, twin guns, also has the missile rack right up in here, and also has a shield generator right there. And this is a enforcer commander, and this is a Cold Star commander. So wanted to make the engines nice and grimy and dirty because they are like a jetpack engine on there. And I've done some metal effects on my barrels there where it's starting to blue up a little bit. So, but I mean, you can even see if you look at the tau symbol right on the front there. It's hard to tell, but like on the line, something there, that's that. Like here, the line symbols there, that was using the panel line accent color to bring those lines out and make them more detailed. So, and he's got a tau symbol on his chest. Let's see if I get that. That I just touched a line to this with the panel line accent.
Oh my God.
Caught him just fine. And it lined him up really good. Yes, it's a smash. No, the smash is not the Cold Star. The Cold Star is because he's got the special gun that only Cold Stars can have, the unique rattle can, and then he's got the output. This is my DACA. This is my DACA Cold Star. The Smash Enforcer. This is the Smash Enforcer with the flamer, and I didn't really have a model to show that he's got an onager gauntlet. So, I mean, there isn't really no model piece for it. So it's just this is the one that's got an onager gauntlet on him. But I'm digging the little bit of purple and green on that really pale, almost white gray. And again, you can see here, let me show you the base. Couple pieces of cork bark, glued down, and then put that basic material down, and then just given a wash with Agrax Earthshade. Yeah, I could see you do that. I don't know. Since he had the fusion gun there, I did a little bit of a heat bloom showing uh through the veins of the thing to kind of show that it's a fusion punch, I guess. What, you're looking at my other towel over there? Yeah.
Fucking cow. No, I'm looking for your custodians.
Um
Are they on the other shelf?
they are some of them in the middle of
Right here.
So yeah, just sort of come in, and I want to do that heat bloom since I've got one whole squad of crisis suits that have the fusion blaster. I wanted to give them that kind of a heat. It's not really heat bloom, but I wanted to give them that where it's radiating heat, a little bit of OSL off of that gun on the front there. I'm not sure how crazy I am about that yellow dry brush on it. I might go back over that and tone it down some.
You have to put those.
What?
Some of the.
Yeah, some of the stuff popped off. It's not that big a deal. Has to be re-glued.
Keep going. I'm just looking at stuff.
So yeah. That is at least what's on the table for right now. But so we've been watching a lot of video, at least I have. I've been watching a lot of videos on what's going on. There was a GT this weekend that would have been the first GT with the new Tau rules. And the new Custodes rules. And there's a couple other armies that got some add-ons and changes to the rules. And the biggest joke to come out of the whole thing is, hey, look, guys, we fixed the Drukhari. They're not even showing up anymore. Because basically they couldn't get through anybody's armor or live long enough to actually do anything in game. Which I do not think is fixing the issue. I don't see that as fixing the issue, honestly. I see that as we've just changed who the problem children are. There was a 7-round 200 plus GT, actually what they would call a major or a super GT that happened in England, and two Tau Sept, I should say, lists came in first and second, and they were the only ones that went 7-0 on the weekend. And the Custodes solidly came in like the next 5 places. And I think the biggest thing I noticed about the Tau list was that they were not at all running anything. I could say they. I should say they weren't not close to what I'm running. But the reality is they were just running. They were running something very different than what I was, and part of it came from my newness to the rules. I mean, I'm playing these guys. This is my first time actually playing the Tau. I've loved the Tau for a long time, but they first came out just as I was getting out of the game the first time. And, I didn't have the space at the time to get into them. So I made that trade last year, and I'm just starting to. It was just gearing up to work on them, just as their codex came out.
Yep.
And how I thought to play them and what rules I knew about them were very different from actually seeing what the actual rules on the army is.
And I'm convinced it was just once they had everything else they needed in the list, they just tried to fit as many of those into their army, like as many of the drones as they could into their army. Because that's how that looked. Because there was one that was 7, 2 that were 5, just trying to even that out. And get as many shield drones as they could on that unit.
Yeah, that was the thing I noticed. I thought you got 2 drones per unit. And that was it. And then I noticed when I was doing my broadsides, it's 2 drones per broadside. So I changed them up some. What I did not notice is that's true for
battle suits,
crisis suits as well. I don't know that it's true for stealth suits. I'd have to look. But it definitely making me go back and relook at the rules before next month. My list for this month's tourney is locked in. So it is what it is, and that's fine. I guess I'll find out because I know there's going to be another Tau player there, and I'll see, how many
10 shield drones per squad of crisis suits. It'd be fucking terrifying.
Yeah, when I realized you could actually run 2 per suit, that's like a lot of crazy. Hello, Rob! You finally got your Tau Codex. All right. I mean, again, I like the army for the aesthetic. I love the aesthetic for them. I can't wait to actually get to the big boys where I can do the graffiti I want to actually paint on the big boys because I want to paint some Tau kanji graffiti on the my 2 Riptides and eventually my Storm Surge. But I saw a Storm Surge in play this weekend, and well, it was funny. There was so many Tau at the store this weekend. I was like, all these Tau players that have been hiding for the last, year plus, they all kind of came out of the woodwork. They're like, "Hey, we're good again."
All a bunch of weeps. Next, someone's going to change their Onager gauntlet. Like take an Onager gauntlet, but instead of a fist, they're going to put a sword in their hand.
That's actually the plan. That's honestly the plan for my Onager gauntlet guy.
Put a katana in there.
No, I actually was going to try and get a Buster Sword. I think a Buster Sword.
Tips.
He's only got 14 drones by your count, so he didn't hit on the drone thing either, which is not bad.
Unless he has like 2 units that have drones, and that's all the rest is like Kroot and stuff.
But that's the whole thing. Then that's not enough because you get too many other units. Like
no, did you see that list?
Yeah, he had like 25 drones, dude.
So he had
He had them in 6 different units.
He had them in 2 different.
No, he had them in 6 different units.
We just looked at it.
I know. You didn't look further down the list.
Crisis suit. He wasn't running things like Kroot can't take drones. He had Kroot and Vespids and Kroot hounds.
And he also had He also had broadsides that were running 6 drones. He also had a crisis commander that had 2 drones with it, and he was running a ethereal that had 2 drones with it. I looked at the list.
Okay. No, I see what you mean. I thought we were talking about
Yeah, and that's actually really good. I mean, the funny thing is, my list I kind of came up with. Um, honestly, I can say right here, I was talking with Ryan, Mr. Kirschbaum, right there. Um, we were just talking about what he saw as good from what he was already playing, what he thought, and then what I wanted to play. Like, I mean, the big thing was that I very much wanted to play crisis suits. Like, my favorite unit in this army is the crisis suit. In in the entire Tau army, I love the crisis suits. If I could run more crisis suits and be effective in a tournament setting, I would. I know for funsy lists, I'm going to have some list where I don't have any troop slots. I'm just going to run the elite thing and have 6 squads, 6 squads of crisis suits running around, because crisis suits are just the coolest model. And then in my heavies thing, I'll have broadsides and a riptide, because I mean, suits are the best part of this army. I'm not gonna lie, suits are the best part of this freaking army. You have 18 crisis suits. Yeah, you and me both, brother. You and me both. I'm running 10 of them, 2 squads of 5 in this tournament this weekend. The funny thing is, some of these were not built by me. So, I didn't completely break them completely down. So some of these shoulder pads are on backwards, some are on upside down, and they still fit because they're kind of universal. But it's just funny because I have a very definite scheme to how I'm painting my army. Let me show you real quick. The one thing that is universal to the entirety of my army, every single unit has a shoulder pad on their left shoulder, the Tau symbol in the middle, and one of the bars underneath. If it's just a cap, the whole bottom cap is done in my purple. This guy here, you can see the shoulder pad is on upside down. Thank you so much. I mean, I love showing off because I like the way I was going with it, but I wanted to make it mainly white, but I wanted to just have some bright colors with it, just kind of jump out at people.
you leave some of your custodian stuff in the car?
I've gotten a couple different places. Don't worry about it right this second. This would have been something to do before we started the stream, buddy.
No, because you're showing off your models, and I'm looking for stuff.
Right. That's like not something you would do during the stream. You're supposed to be here on the stream having a conversation with me.
I am having a conversation. We're having a conversation. That's the
No,
point.
we're not. You're over there looking at models, you freak. So yeah, there's a couple of these, and it's not a big deal, but a couple of these shoulder pieces are. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I appreciate that, guys. I wanted to make my own scheme. I thought about a couple different versions, and like originally, my original scheme was just this. It was just the purple. I think there's a couple guys back here. Grab me one of those dudes on top of the thing here. Now I had done this for Kill Team. My original Kill Team squad, this was them. It was very basic, very simple. I wanted to go with that just off-white gray, Uthian gray for those of you that follow the colors, and just a very basic, a little bit of purple. And I'm actually using two purples because I found out they are the same purple. I'm using uh, jean purple, my purple. But I found out that the Vallejo basic purple is the exact same color. So I just started off using, Uthian gray and the purple. But then I realized I wanted to do just a little bit of green, and that's where we got Buzz Lightyear and the Moot Green to come from. And the Buzz Lightyear thing was not intended, but I'll take it because I do like it. I mean, I like bright colors. I like the look together.
The new Buzz Lightyear movie is going to come out, and people are going to. It's going to be the day after you win, like a tournament,
To the greater good and beyond.
or the day before you go to a tournament. It's when to release. People and that's all people are going to say. Oh, look, it's Buzz Lightyear.
It's okay.
See, now you need your Cadre Fireblade to actually look like Buzz Lightyear. It'd be great.
Except Buzz is in a crisis suit. So I need a crisis commander that I name Buzz.
Oh, these fucking cards.
But yeah, it's just a matter of.
Hi, Al.
Hey, Al. So yeah, it's just a matter of taking that lower shoulder. I get that in the purple. And then I go into the Tau symbol on the shoulder, and I make that purple. And then I've got some static pieces. It's funny because some of the parts of the purple are static across all the models, like on all of them. I'm making the shield generator outer ring purple, just because I like that strong purple ring there. And other than that, I'm gonna like each one gets to stand alone. It's like when I get like 4 or 5 pieces of purple on the figure, I'm done with it. And then later on, I'll put like 3 or 4 pieces of green. So there's definitely more purple on them than green, but I definitely want that green, that accent color, to kind of jump out there. I want to get through this because this is all I got left. I got to get these last crisis suits done, and then I get to go after. I get to try and go after my 2 devilfish before Saturday. Now, Saturday, we're having this RTT tournament at Fecklandia that Ryan, the TO, is doing a great job putting together. Hi, Al. What's going on, buddy? So, like, for the crisis suits, like, parts of the jets are going to be purple, and then 1 or 2 of the slashes on one of the legs will be purple. And then all my plasma rifles, they have a section on them that's just this little underbarrel piece on the front near the front nozzle. And for whatever reason, I've been doing them all eternally as purple. When I get to the green, I'll probably do another part of the gun in the green. Um, and then after I get everything green, everything purple, everything green, then I go back with the Uthien gray and touch up any place I got mess ups, any place that there's any coffee staining, and any just anything that just doesn't look clean enough. I want there to be some grime and grit, but I want it to be, not on the main panels. I want it to be like where panels are meeting, where there's a panel lining. I want it to be a little grungier towards the panel lining. Any place there's a vent, I want the vent to look grungy and dirty. Because there's jet coming out of it. The nozzles of guns are going to definitely, because they're firing energy weapons, so those are going to have, oxidation and burn off on them. Which is why when I did the rattle guns, I did them in black, and then I did some highlighting and dry brushing in a bluish silver to make it look like gun bluing.
You're not going to drill the.
I'm not drilling a damn thing on these things. I'm painting them black. I'm not drilling any barrels.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I'll paint them black. I don't want to drill any barrels on this army. I don't want to drill anything. I used to be the you must drill the barrels guy. I'm like, actually, I've moved away from that kind of. I still do it on my Marines because I want to keep them all the same. But it's like, if I'm going to drill the barrels in an army, I'm either going to drill all the barrels or none of the barrels. And so I'm drilling none of the barrels. And I'm just doing the black tips on them to give the illusion of them being holes. I know somebody will be, that's heresy. Yep, that's me. I'm a heretic. And I'm okay with that.
You did abandon space holes to become the Tau player, so.
Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I did.
Fucking degen.
You betcha. Degeneration X, that's me. Did I just hear a sheep?
Yes. The child just sheeped.
So what we have been looking though, I'm in the midst of a huge paint job right now, and I took a break from it to paint these guys. And I feel bad because I've been taking so long to get those two things painted, and I've painted the crap out of this army in an incredibly short period of time, and I really feel rejuvenated by that. So I'm going to be able to knock out a lot of painting pretty quickly once I'm done with these guys.
No, he's a Gen Xer. He's not a boomer.
I am not a boomer. Do not.
Close, but not quite.
No, I'm not. I'm 5 years off of being a boomer.
Yeah, it's close.
That's not close.
It's close.
Whatever you say.
5 years ago, I was in high school.
Yes, but you're an infant.
I'm just saying, 5 years is not that far away.
5 years is huge.
Okay.
Yes, because 5 years ago you were in high school. Now you're just a degenerate. So the other thing that's been seeing a lot of right now is a lot of stuff on the Eldar, and I know a lot of Eldar players are super excited about all the groovy stuff coming out for Eldar soon.
Yeah, but they're Eldar, so who cares?
I mean, their box set with the new Chaos stuff just came out.
Yeah. The Eldar stuff is really cool in there.
The Chaos stuff in there is really cool.
I don't know.
What? What do you mean?
I don't really like it. I mean,
it's not stuff you're going to use.
I don't like the Warpsmith. I really don't like the Warpsmith. He's way too clean. You could put the right amount of paint on him, and he'd look like an Iron Hands Tech Marine.
I completely disagree with you, but I completely disagree with you on that one, especially given how many mechadendrites and tendrils are on that figure. But
Okay, but so there's plenty on like just visually, lore wise, on let's say tech marines or tech priests.
tech priests, yes, not on tech marines.
Tech marines have them too.
No, not really. If you look at them in game, they don't. They really don't. They typically have like their arm, and that's about it.
Yeah, saying like, but you could very easily with just a paint job pass off as an Iron Hands tech.
Yeah, you really didn't look at that figure that well.
I did.
Then apparently you didn't, or you and I are looking at two very different figures, because he looks very chaosy to me.
Hold on, me.
Let me and my zoomerness look up and show my dad in how many ways he's wrong. Because I have a different opinion of what I'm looking at. I like the look. I like the look of the Warpsmith. I think he's a definite upgrade over the old Warpsmith figure. I like the Chosen. I like the way they look. I wish they were a better unit overall, but I do like the look of them. And if nothing else, what they'll be really good for is to use them as different kinds of sergeants and squad leaders and chaos lords in a larger army. Because honestly, that's going to be probably the way I would use them when I get my half box. And who knows, maybe their rules, when their codex comes out, well, different opinions. That's heresy. In this house, you're damn right it is.
Oh my god.
See, a little bit of purple in the chest. Definitely going for some Gundam vibes here.
Like, I respect your opinion on it, and I do like the Chosen look. I just don't know, man.
You just don't have any in your list, and they're not in and of themselves, at least in so far. They're not a really great unit, so they're not something you would normally use.
I mean, on my original list, I was going to put a Warpsmith in, but I decided against it because you said it was bad.
Yeah. You didn't have enough stuff in there to make it worth its time. And remember, normally, what do you take instead of a Warpsmith?
Yeah, you take the largest card.
Yeah. But after playing a Warpsmith in a role-playing game, I need a figure for him. All right. So, have you looked at any of the Eldar stuff at all?
I've looked at some of it.
Okay.
The Avatar of Cain is ridiculous, but it all seems fun. I like all the models. The Avatar of Cain being able to do 56 wounds in a single round of attacks is a little ridiculous, but you know. Any one model being able to, in a fight phase, kill a Warhound Titan in a single round of attacks is a little dumb. And I'd say that for any melee model. But honestly, I like the new models. I like what the rules we've seen, most of them. I like everything we've seen. I just worry about that one thing.
What one thing is that?
No, the Avatar of Cain.
Yeah.
I think there is too much statted onto that one model.
And you know what that means? You won't see play except in casual Funzy games. Because it'll be too easy to shoot off the table. Because you won't be able to hide them anywhere.
Okay. But that Logic Commodore, like, if you're using this, it only have 6s. That does not make that any less accurate.
Ben, I'm all about letting the elves have their 15 minutes.
I love the elves.
He's saying the rest of the army's fine. He's saying the Avatar Kane
is a little overtuned.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
But I want to point out that...
But if its base stat block is that strong, think about what stratagems you might be able to pull off on it. Like, we haven't seen the stratagems yet. There's probably going to be something you can do with it that's going to be ridiculous.
I'm going to bet not, actually. You want to know why? Because most of the time when you got those really big freaking things, they don't get to use most of the stratagems their army does. Look at Mortarion and Magnus. And
they still have stratagems they can use. They have a good number of stratagems.
They have a couple they can use.
It's the character-specific ones.
Yeah, they can't use the really broken ones, though, to be honest. And being that he won't be of any specific planet, there's also probably some other ones he won't be able to use. I don't know. I think he'll be fine. I know your mom wants one really badly to paint up.
Like, I like the Avatar King. I think it's really cool. I like the Eldar. I've said that if I play a Xenos army, I want to play Craftworld Eldar. Like, I love them. They're great. They look cool. They're fucking aesthetic. I don't like all of their models. Like, what's the new model with the big cannon and the skull mask? That looks more like a Necron than an actual Eldar.
That's the Phoenix Lord or the Dark Reapers.
Yeah, and he's not. I still like him. I feel like he needs a little bit more Eldar, but also that's kind of his thing, is that he doesn't look like other Eldar. You know, whatever.
I mean,
it's a little weird. He looks more like a Necron character than an actual Eldar. Like, he does.
I think he looks like I think he looks like a Lego skeleton, personally. That head looks like it comes right off a Lego.
I've heard some people complain about the new Dark Reapers like faces. I think
they look darky as hell.
They do, but
that's also been their aesthetic the entire time.
Yeah.
I like that the Dire Avengers are no longer a troop slot. They've been moved to an elite. But the interesting thing is, Guardians, there's now 2 flavors of Guardians. And one of them looks like they're melee Guardians. It looks like they're going to have Assault Guardians, just like Assault Marines. They're going to be chainsword and pistol Guardians.
My question is, are they only going to have 2 options for troops now?
Probably. Probably have Guardians and Black Guardians. And these Assault Guardians. So they'll have 3.
Yeah, they have them now. I think it's just... is it a different kind of unit, Ben, or is it just different equipment? Storm Guardians. Are they elites or are they troops? Because I thought Storm Guardians weren't troops. But I don't know. I'm not familiar with their codex.
Oh, they're troops, yeah.
Okay.
So the big thing is they're doing... Okay, just so it's pointed out, because we were talking about this earlier, this guy's shoulder was put on the opposite side by whomever built him.
So that's 2 troop options, which isn't the worst. It's not great by any means, but it's not the worst either.
Well, but they'll have other options.
Maybe.
No, they'll have other options. Because if I remember right, our Rangers, I was going to say Rangers,
Yeah, but I thought they were changing Rangers from troop options. I thought that was something they were talking
they haven't.
about.
They haven't said anything specific to that yet.
Yeah, I believe they said that Rangers were
Why? They're not an elite unit. They're not.
Yeah, but you could say the same thing about Scouts.
But Scouts aren't a troop either. They're not a basic boots on the ground kind of guy. I can see why they made Scouts troops.
You mean why they made Scouts elite?
Yeah, I can see why.
I mean, you can make the same argument for Rangers. Rangers are pretty easily the same way. Now, 3 options would be good. 3 options is what
everybody pretty much has, except for most Marines.
Except for Marines. I mean, because Chaos Space Marines only have 2 options. Because they have Space Marines and they have Cultists. Which I still feel like they should have more options. But they have more options through different chapters, so whatever.
And what else would you give them?
Oh, I don't know what else you would give them. But I'm saying that it might be nice if they had another option. You know? Like, I think Custodians have 3 troop options.
4.
4 now. Ooh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Given an army that only has like 20 troops, 20 units altogether, I think having a full 5th of them being troops is just fine.
Yeah. Problem is that having 2 options for Chaos Space Marines isn't horrible again because you have that option with like role leaders to give yourself Corning Berserkers. But I almost feel like if they did want to do something kind of cool, they could go the route of, if you're not playing one of those, you can run Chosen as troops or something like that. Like a higher cost Chaos Space Marine unit, essentially. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
It would be kind of cool, because especially since they're kind of almost hinting that with how they deployed that box. It's
really? Because they didn't do that with another box. There's a couple boxes that they've put out that had no proper unit you could build out of the box. I forget which box. That just happens to be the brand new sculpt. That's the big thing. I think they've stopped putting a lot of stock into that, honestly. I think GW is all about, let's just get these models out here and sold.
Because what do you think? Tau have 4 options, 5 options?
For troops? 3.
3? Only 3?
3. Strike team, breachers, and Kroot.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, right, Vespids are fast attack.
I keep telling you that.
Kroot hounds are fast attack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Space Marines have like 6. Yeah. Drukhari have 3.
Yeah.
4.
Pretty much everybody has 3.
I feel like when they do Chaos Space Marines, they should give them a 3rd troop shot. I don't know what they give them, but it would be nice to have 3 troop options.
Death Guard don't have 3. Death Guard have 2.
Yeah.
Thousand Suns have 2. Yeah. Death Guard have Plague Marines and Poxwalkers. That's it.
No, you could take Cultists.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I can take Cultists.
No, and
No one
Thousand
knows.
Suns can take the.
Oh.
Yeah. No, they can take it. They have 3.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You know the option nobody takes.
A lot of the lists I've seen have the fucking mutant boys.
The Zangors.
Zangors. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's another army that has 2. Because Gene Stealer Cults has 4.
No idea.
Yeah, I think they have.
You gotta remember, GW hates chaos. They don't give them options because they hate chaos.
That's sad.
It's not sad. It's the reality of it. They're the bad guys. They don't get good things.
Orcs have 4? 3?
3, at least. This is the things you get stuck on, guys. Show that suit again.
Okay. Gretchen, boys. Beast Snagga boys.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 3.
Showing the gun suit as requested. And showing the other suit. Okay. Here's the one with the upside down shoulder. And then here's the one with the shoulder on the wrong side. Commodore's all touchy because he may or may not have built the one we're talking about. Because these are not all ones that he gave me. Some of these are some that I acquired.
Yeah, he built them like a dork.
Yeah, some of these are some I acquired through other means.
But yeah, it would be cool for Chaos to get another troop option. Possess.
I mean, I don't see what the big deal is. They're Marines.
But when the other Marines have 6 options.
Yeah, but the Marines also.
Space
Okay, now let's take Primaris out. How many troop options do you have without Primaris?
4.
Without Primaris?
Yeah. 4. Because you lose intercessors and infiltrators.
And intercessors, infiltrators, incursors, heavy intercessors, assault intercessors.
Oh my god.
If you take out Primaris, you know what you have? You have one option for troops. That's it.
First of all, that's dumb.
But that's the way they've always been, Ray.
No, when originally assault Marines used to be a troop slot for Marines.
They haven't been a troop slot for Marines since 6th.
They at least were in 7th edition.
7th?
Yep.
Okay.
I know because I was watching the 7th edition narrative report the other day.
Okay.
What does Mechanicus have? 4?
2 types of Skitarii.
And then 2 types of Cataphron.
Yeah. It's 2 kits. It's just a matter of which way you build them.
Yeah, but it's still...
Dude, I think you're obsessing over this whole Chaos has to have...
It's interesting to me to look at that because I feel like having more troop slots makes an army overall more dynamic.
But Chaos isn't dynamic. That's the problem.
Chaos is chaos. It should be more dynamic.
No, that's the interesting point. That is the most interesting point. That is why Chaos loses all their crusades, because Chaos is not dynamic. They are unchanging. They are still stuck in 10,000 years ago.
Where's your Space Marines?
Probably in the toolbox. This, folks, this is what I deal with. Okay, so we are coming up on the end of the stream.
We're not done yet, bitch.
Here, I have to look up at all the different types of troops that Marines have, which are all Primaris options.
No, I didn't even think about how many were. Okay. Intercessor, Soul Intercessor, Heavy Intercessor, Infiltrator, Cursor, Tactical.
Tacticals. That's it. Pre-Primaris, you had Tacticals. That's it.
Company Champion is elite. Scout is elite. Scout used to be troops.
Scout used to be troops. Yeah, that took the place of Cultists.
Assault Marines used to also be troops.
I want to give a big shout out to all my patrons. Joe Bookish, Mini War Mutt, Mythos Kushranada, Greg Tesh, James Brown, Hellchild, Hellworks by Hellchild, and then the incomparable Lady Phoenix and the Commodore. Yeah, I was pretty sure they were in. I knew in 6th edition they were troops because I have a box from back then. Yeah, scouts were troops up in 8th edition too. So that being said, folks, we're gonna wrap it up for the night here. Some final thoughts. One of the interesting things we didn't get a chance to really talk about because we got stuck on troops and got stuck talking about other things. It's a conversation I had earlier today about tournament with Max. But we did touch on in it a bit. In that, in the end, you're playing the game for fun, so just have fun with the game. Viability and all that. But there is some truth to losing all the time because other people aren't playing the same way you are. Does get to be a beatdown. So play the game you love, but know who you're playing with and know how to play with the people you're with. So I think that's all I can really suggest. Other than that, I'm Big D.
And Little D.
And we are the Gamecraft Dragons. Thank you so much. Remember, folks, game on.
Yeah.